happening, weirdos? This is Skeet Ulrich, who I am just so impressed by. I just shot a movie that he is the star of. I was in it. He's the star. And that is just so clear. He is a pro. He is funny. He is interesting. He, like a lot of interesting people, he's like, oh, I'll do your podcast. I don't have anything interesting to say. And then we could have gone for 9 hours. Every topic you bring up with Mr. Ulrich, Mr. Ulrich, Skeet, he just has some. So I'm so glad you're here. And I hope you enjoy this as much as I did, because I loved it. Skeet, if you don't know, was in Scream. He was in Scream 7. He was in Scream 6. He was also in the huge hit Riverdale. He was in The Craft. I mean, he's Skeet Ulrich, for crying out loud. I'm so glad you're here. Not too much to plug on my end. I do have some very fun and big shows coming up. I'm in Chicago this week. If you're listening to this the day it comes out, I'm in Chicago. So I will be at the Riviera Theater on November 6th, followed by Pittsburgh, followed by New York on November 14th at Town Hall, followed by New Jersey, Milwaukee, Brea, San Francisco, North Carolina, South Carolina, Miami, Michigan, Madison, Wisconsin, and Denver, Colorado. All of those are on PeteHolmes.com. Hope to see you out there. This tour is my favorite by far, and it always means so much when I see weirdos out at the shows. So please, if you can, hope to see you there. In the meantime, enjoy my chat with the incomparable, the wonderful, the amazing Skeet Ulrich. Get into it.
You know what I did today? You can record. Are we recording? Okay, we're just gonna go. I got a foot massage this morning.
Did you?
Fucking loved it.
Have you ever done that?
I have. It's something that I started doing.
Just one foot?
I don't know why that seems kinky. It's like just the left. I don't like right. I don't like right. No, I don't know. It took a little. I thought about Pulp Fiction. Remember that scene where he's like, "There's something intimate to a foot massage. Would you give me a foot massage?" Yeah. I probably think about that every time. But I was just getting my coffee this morning, and I was like, "I'm gonna do it." And I
is
think
it that place on Boar or whatever?
It's called Happy Foot.
Happy
Feet. New Happy Feet.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple Happy Feets. I'm going to recommend it. Go ahead. Turn it.
Timer.
Turn it.
How long is this timer? 30 minutes? All right, you get two flips.
Bro, I'm happy with it. No, I'm touched that you did this, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, to be honest.
I think, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No.
You're nice. Thanks for having me. But it's been really fun working with you, doing this movie together. Yeah. And I know I already told you this, and I'm always hesitant to sound, because I think people do, it's called number one on the call sheet. So you're the star of the movie, and people will kiss that person's ass. It's like flying first class. The steward or stewardess
I think that's
is just
the
nicer.
inclination for sure. I think it doesn't happen to me because I'm so cordial to everybody, and I'm so into everybody feeling welcome and that we're a team.
But
to everybody.
I think some people.
There's
some people that are like,
there's definitely some.
I'm Diamond Elite. You know what I mean? And the rest of you are coach.
Yeah.
And so,
for sure.
But that is the first thing I notice, is that you are incredibly kind to everybody. And I'm happy to say that publicly. I hope I don't embarrass you.
No.
But also just very, very professional. And you just seem like a real actor. I know that's stupid. Obviously you are. Yeah. But there are a lot of people acting that don't give me the sense that they're really into acting.
Right, yeah.
Down to how they behave on set, because that tone creates an environment where we can all perform better.
Yeah.
I've been in things where I'm uncomfortable and everybody stinks a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're setting a very nice tone.
Thank you.
And you're taking it really seriously. So I wanted to start there, especially if we're only doing an hour, which I'm fine with. Please talk, because people are probably listening. A lot of people are interested in acting. Mm-hmm. Would you just tell me a little bit about your approach?
Well, in terms of, set life, if you will. I hate that term because that was a hashtag for so long.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because people are like, I'm having my Diet Coke, set life.
Exactly.
Yep, see,
set
that's
life,
the Diamond Elite.
life.
People want, people think when they get where you are, you can be a turd.
Right. I find the opposite. I mean, I love what we do. I love telling stories. I think everybody there is a professional in many variety of arts, from lighting to everything, wardrobe, everything. And
it's very tactile.
It is. It's
when there's like a lighting problem and suddenly like 3 older guys just throw up some plastic on a window. Yeah. They're puffing smoke. They do it like, everybody says like ninjas, but they do it like NASCAR workers. Yeah. There's something very real about what they do, and they have really good instincts.
I think it's interesting that, we are like a traveling circus, and for people to, to leave their life, leave their families, leave their homes, get up at insanely early hours, work insanely long hours, to be the best pretenders on the planet is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
And to get to be a part of that, I'm so honored always to get to be in that.
But this is a glimpse, like talking about honor and considering other people's talents and all that stuff. You really seem to be, I don't want to say it's effortful, but you do seem to be making an effort. You could just as easily be like, they got to move the camera, all that stuff. Yeah. But is it a daily conscious effort to go like, I'm grateful, I'm here, I like making this project? Like, how do you look at it?
Not necessarily. I mean, I don't really think about it, to be honest. I guess I've just been doing it 35 years or something, a long time, and I'm used to the routine. Yeah. And so I know when I need to focus, and I know how to let other people know kindly that I need to focus. Typically that's by putting earbuds in and like checking out, and they'll just know by the look on your face or whatever, like, give me my space for now.
All right, you're giving me a memory. The first movie, it wasn't a movie, it was the pilot of Crashing, and I had to have the breakup with my wife.
Yeah.
And it's this big scene, and Judd Apatow, who was directing it, was like, "This is the soul of the whole series."
Oh, Jesus!
So like, no pressure.
Yeah.
I don't think he told me that until afterwards, and that's a good move. But I knew it was an important scene, and I'm literally like pacing back and forth, trying to stay in this, like, not even moving, but like shifting my weight between legs, closing my eyes, and just trying to stay in a feeling.
Yeah.
And look. All love and respect to this person, but the props department came up to show me 2 wallets.
Right in the middle of all that,
And I'm like, especially back then, the least confrontational person in the world. And I was just like, not right now, please. But I mean, like, you're talking about one of the things that is nice about it is they know, just like the lighting guy needs a moment, the actor needs a moment.
I always say I'm always in the way until they say rolling.
We are. Yeah, you are just sort of puttering around
until it's your moment.
Yes.
I worked with Antoine Fuqua once upon a time, 5-6 years ago, whatever it was, and
who did The Equalizer?
And who did
Training Day?
Yeah, he did.
Some of my favorite movies ever.
He's an amazing force.
Yeah,
And he was really frustrated one morning at like day 2. And I asked him, what's up? And he was like, they just don't understand, talking about the crew. He's like, they just don't understand. Like, they need to do their job and then give you the stage. And let it be yours.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I've heard a director word it that way.
Yes. Can I tell you another? Sorry, finish.
No.
I was going to say Conan, different medium, late night. But he was like, the writers build you the playground and you go out and play on it. Both are incredibly essential, like creating the stage and then giving it. But like the writers make the playground and then he goes out and is a jackass. But like both need one another and both need to like sort of honor the other person's part of it. Yeah. But like you feel that way. Like,
but back to your point, like it doesn't feel like effort to me. Like, I'm not a very social person necessarily. I'm a little more introverted than you would expect.
Yeah.
Or some would expect. But
why do people probably think you go around wearing a Scream t-shirt, just being like,
right.
Anybody want to buy me an ice cream?
You know who I am? Yeah, exactly. But I think it's, like I appreciate everybody's hard work and I come prepared, as you've probably
That's the
noticed.
other thing I was going to mention. You've read the script like 9 times.
God, even probably more. Triple that. Yeah.
And you memorize the hell out of it. Yeah. You know my lines. It's like really like, it's not just that it's professional. I like that you're imbuing the whole process with meaning. Like it makes me think you probably have a rich life. Like in the way that like, it's kind of a weird example. I'm glad it seems that way. No, you know how like Tom Cruise really cares about movies?
Yeah.
Like I'm getting the sense that you must, I'm a little guilty of being a little bit mercenary about some of the work I do, where I'm like, I read the script to see if it's interesting or funny, or will I have fun doing it? And will it be too hard, or is it in my scope of ability? And you really seem to be reading it going like, what is this story? Like, what are we making? And I think I'm learning something from you, which is like your life, you get more out of it if you give it respect and meaning and take that time to be considerate. It's not just to be professional. It's to, am I leading you on? Is that correct?
No, not at all. But I think, to be honest, it comes that amount of hours that I spend learning lines, learning scenes, understanding the material, reaching for depth, all that stuff comes out of insecurity. You know, it comes out of not wanting to suck.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
So I just work so freaking hard because I don't want to be bad.
Yes. And when did that? Oh, go ahead.
No, I mean, sometimes I am, regardless of those efforts.
We can't help it.
You know, I'm just, somebody else would have been better in the part, whatever. But I have to give it my all. Otherwise, I told you, I'm nervous before every scene.
Yeah.
I've gotten used to it. I like it. I get worried if I'm not, which is very rare.
That's exactly. But
I think there's so much emotion sort of bubbling in the nerves, and I very quickly decide what the character's nervous about in this scene, so that I can go, okay, I've done part of my work.
Well, when John C. Reilly did this podcast, I talked about how acting can
be a great story about him.
Go ahead.
No,
I won't forget
that one first.
Well, okay, because it's on theme, but like we were talking about acting, and I'm embarrassed that I said this, but it's true. I was like, sometimes I'm embarrassed by acting. Yeah. And there's this Louise, he's in PTA movies, in Boogie Nights.
I
always forget his name.
I know who you're talking about.
Okay, so that wonderful actor, and I'm sorry I'm blanking on his name. But he had an audition, and I've told this before, but I want to hear your response. The audition was... Guzman.
Yeah.
Thank you. Just look at me like you want to kill me. And he did it, and he got the part.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, that is just so uncomfortable to me.
Yeah.
And John C. Reilly was like, I'm not going to... You just got to find the party that does want to kill them. Yeah, so you're kind of finding, what is my character nervous about? And what's weird about the human experience is we are having intense, irrational, grotesque, enlarged feelings. Yeah. And maybe there is this part of like, who are you to be auditioning me? But you have to be like really honest and looking at an inventory of your feelings in order to lean into some and shy away from others. Do you feel that way? Is that?
Yeah, a lot. And I take offense to people saying that actors are liars because I think really we're brutally honest about how we feel.
Yeah, and dredging it up.
And we use it to portray characters, but it comes from a completely honest place. And so, maybe a psychopath laughs at something that I would cry at, but I'm going to find exactly what he said, that thing that kindles that, you know? Right. And so, there's an incredible emotional honesty to the job.
And a courage. We were talking about, you did this Lifetime movie that ended up getting a nomination for like major awards. So I only say that because I think people might think Lifetime movie, maybe it's this other category.
Yeah, there's a stigma for sure.
But you made this like piece of art, and you were playing a guy who kidnapped a woman.
Yeah.
Like the worst. He
was dark. The Elizabeth Smart story.
The Elizabeth Smart story.
Yeah.
And like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're trying to figure out the motivation of a mentally unwell person, you have to do some work that's very, I guess the fear is that it's compromising. We all have every feeling.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of us, I just heard somebody comparing it to our minds are like social media feeds. Things get upvoted, right? Certain feelings get upvoted, and we favor those, and those are the ones that make it to our conscious mind.
Yeah.
But it seems like for a part like that, you had to sort of spelunk into some really gnarly shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for sure. I mean, and the research was harrowing.
Yes.
Reading, the things he did. She came to set, Elizabeth Smart did.
Oh my God, you didn't tell me that.
I was supposed to meet her before I went into hair and makeup. because I was
looking like him,
prosthetic beard and a wig and all this stuff. And she arrived after she came into the makeup trailer right as I was finishing, and she just froze.
Bro.
And
that's, oh no.
And but it told me, okay, we're being accurate.
Yeah.
How
long is she freezing? Please tell me.
It was like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever. But she clearly was like, you could see her catch her breath a bit. And she came down to set. We sort of went through the blocking of a scene, and the director asked her, like, is this accurate to what was going on? And she was like, she came on to the area that we were shooting, and she was like, and there was a 5-gallon bucket that she used to sit on, that he'd make her sit on. And she was like, well, actually I was over here. And she moves the bucket and sits down, and I started bawling, like most of us did.
Oh my God.
Because it was suddenly so real.
The bucket was over here. I'm not trying to be funny. That's intense.
No, but yeah, it was just
intense.
Her and but anyway, back to your point, like it's very dark character, but I trained at NYU with Mamet and William H. Macy.
You told me that. But isn't Mamet like, fuck your feelings, just say what I told you to say?
No. I mean, he's dogmatic about the lines.
Yeah.
And primarily because he didn't like actors riffing his lines, because it's a very rhythmic. He would not like you.
No, he would not like me. He would not like me.
Kidding. He would probably love you.
Well, but I would do it differently for him. Yeah.
But there's a reason. But the technique they came up with involves, you study a lot about storytelling from a Greek perspective, from the advent of storytelling.
Oh, really?
And the books they make you read and all this stuff.
I wonder if that gave you that sense of respect.
Probably.
For the whole process.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, good.
And there's one component to what they teach, which is scene analysis and how to, come up with an action, which is further than a want, and it's a playable thing that the roots of it are based in how you react, not what I'm doing, but how you react to what
Your
I'm
scene
doing.
Partner.
Yeah. And
what does that mean? The difference?
Well, because my attention's off of myself.
Yeah.
And it allows for it to be in the moment, that it's happening live between us.
That was that Gary Shandling. Sorry to interrupt, but he had that thing. His acting coach told him, can you be vulnerable enough to actually learn something on camera? Like in front of the lens, you actually figured something out. Isn't that interesting? It reminds me of this, though.
Experiential almost. In that,
right.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because as we're talking, the conversation like this give me the chills. So it is possible to access something more than just...
Well, the next step in it, right, is you have this action, and let's say that's to help a friend over the fence, which you can sort of get your head around what that would be. And then you find a reason for it to be right now. I have to do it now. And it's as if in my life, it's as if I'm, so there's a moment where, and we discussed this a little bit, where he takes Elizabeth Smart, brings her up to the tent, in the mountains, and weds her instantly so that he could now live out his pedophilia.
Was he a Latter-day Saint?
He was a liar.
Yeah, a liar, of course.
But I can't remember, to be honest.
His culture. Obviously, I don't think Latter-day Saints are doing things like this, or any group.
No, and
he had a religious leaning.
Yeah, he pretended to.
Yeah. But he wanted to get around it.
Well, she was very religious.
Okay.
So it was a way to control.
Right.
And it was also a way to excuse his behavior. But, there's this moment where I have to, I wed her and I have to instruct her to get on your knees, and I start unbuttoning my, taking my pants off.
Yeah.
Now it's Lifetime, so obviously it's going to end right around that. But, it's very dark. Crew were walking off set, crying, there was a lot going on. But to me, the scene was as if I was telling my son, you have to get better grades. Your tests are next week and you have to get better grades. And then I just put the dialogue in, get on your knees.
Right. Because to this person, that's what it was.
I'm not living in his dark freaking mind, and I have the freedom, but I also know the importance to me.
Wow.
And the emotional honesty to me.
Because he thought he was instructing her in what was good and right.
Yeah.
Wow. But even considering that, I've never seen crew, I've never done anything like that, but crew walking off. See, every conversation I have with true actors and John C. Reilly, and we'll get to that story, I'm always just blown away. Like, it goes back to my childhood. It's like, to me, being safe is being liked.
Right.
So you can even tell on set, like, I like making everybody laugh. That's my approach. Yeah. And like, being an asshole is different from being a kidnapping, sex, horrible, right? Yeah. But you found a way to do it without, it sounds like you dissociated a little bit. In a way,
I associated. Very much so. Right. But I know what you mean. Yeah, I disconnected from his feelings and engaged my own.
Right.
Which
and you
I guess
to feel
is
how he would have.
It's a bit of both.
Right. You would have been appalled. Skeet would have been appalled.
Right, of course.
But this guy was not appalled.
No.
So you can't play it appalled.
You can't judge it.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another one of those sort of mystic things about acting, I think, is that like, there's this feeling of if I were you, I'd be you.
Right.
Like, what would it be like to be this person? Obviously, this is an extreme example, but every part that you're playing, we'll talk about As Good As It Gets. You're playing like a sex worker on the streets of Sunset Boulevard, and you have to go like, there's something, I think it's one of the reasons we're fascinated with it as a culture, is when someone disappears into a role, we go like, if they had lived that person's life, had their genes, had their parents, had their experiences, this is who they would have been. So when an actor surrenders their experiences in their life and adopts someone else's, I think we're actually witnessing something pretty mystical, going like, we're just kind of the backdrop that animates and gives life to what the shape of someone's experience and personality is. Yeah. But we're something else. And look, it could have been something else. Did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Comment on that.
You want the John C.
I
Reilly?
do want John C. Reilly, of course.
But sorry,
I was going to say, please feel free to comment on that because I won't forget if you have something, but we can go to John if you want. You don't have to.
Yeah,
that was fine.
Yeah, I think that's so profound. Like, I don't know that, like,
I think about it all the time.
What it brought to mind was, Mamet and Macy's sort of theory and is that there's a collective consciousness. And there is. And so, you really experience it in theaters, whether it's live theater or movie theater or whatever, a comedy's always funnier around a group of people.
Yes.
You can be moved to tears. Like I'll never forget seeing In America, I think it was called, and it was really emotional, but I was held and I heard somebody start crying beside me and I was lost.
That's it.
That's
exactly right.
That's collective consciousness. And there's a way to work where the dialogue is really meaninless. And what it is me sharing something important to me that you could call it subtext.
Yes.
If you like, but that as if is something that can speak to so many people because you're not telling them what to feel.
That's right.
You're not telling them how to feel.
Yes.
They're witnessing you behave.
Yes.
And I think that's what that reminds me of is that there is something deeper to it all.
I'm glad you said that because I think you're right on. And sort of people probably who listen to this podcast know I'm going to say this, but like when I say what I say to myself before I go on stage to do stand-up is it's not about the jokes. The jokes are an excuse for all of us to merge. And I know that sounds maybe woo, but I'm like, you think you're watching a movie to be surprised or have some plot twist. Yeah. You're not. No. It's this quiet, sanctimonious projection. Yeah. And Paul Bettany, sorry to keep, but I'm thinking of other actors that did the show. Paul Bettany, he did this really heavy movie and we were talking about like, what do you do? And he's like, I try to do almost nothing because they'll put it all on me. Yeah. Like you don't have to twitch your eye when you find out you're not getting anything in your father's will. Right. Just hold still. Yeah. And hold space. Yeah. And that's what I think I'm doing as a comedian. That's what hopefully I'm doing as an actor. But it certainly sounds like that's what Macy and Mamet and you were about.
Yeah. I mean, we used to do an exercise where like, no dialogue. You walk on, one example was walk on stage with a shoe to the other actor, put it down in front of them and walk off. And every audience member or every classmate had a different idea as to what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah.
But, it's an interesting thing where you ask of an audience, if you don't tell them exactly, you ask, what would you do?
Yeah.
Like if you have a white hat and a black hat, a good guy, clearly good, everything he does is good, he's so great, and this guy's clearly so bad and so dark, and so, of course we know where we're going to side.
Right.
But if you can fully get behind this white hat and believe in and get behind his ideas and his emotions and everything else, but you can also fully get behind,
which I feel like we're doing more now.
Yeah.
Our bad guys even.
And when they butt heads, it asks the audience, what do you believe in?
That's right. I just rewatched, I think I told you, American Gangster.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated with that movie because the good guy and the bad guy are both incredibly, in my opinion, sympathetic characters.
Yeah.
And they're butting up against each other and all these choices, and you don't know what you would have done. And just like a Greek play, you go around and going like, what would I do if I found $1 million in the trunk of a car and I'm a cop? Like, would I turn it in? It's just so fun.
I tried to play Billy Loomis in Scream, trying to get the audience to understand that this was a kid who was harmed by an affair, that he lost his family because of his girlfriend's father, mother. And to really try and persuade them to my side.
Right.
Don't you see why this caused this?
Right.
And that's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun to try and win an audience over.
It's been so long. He did it because
his mom had an affair with, or I forget what it was exactly. It's been so long, it's 30 years almost.
Of course, yeah. I was actually I already mentioned Scream, but I was like, I'm going to go for a Scream-free interview. I'm going to give Skeet the interview he deserves. I did have one Scream question, which is, did you get the sense you were making a hit, or was it a surprise?
Not at all. I mean, to be honest, horror was dead at the time.
Yeah.
Wes had not had a hit for a little while at the time. We shot pretty much sequentially, but they shot Drew's stuff first because, and Miramax pulled the plug and was like, we don't get it. We're not making this movie. And, we're on film at the time, and Wes and Marianne Magdalena, they pieced together, cut together the opening and rushed it to New York, and they saw it and they were like, oh, okay, yeah, we get it now. Keep going.
Oh, they didn't get it from watching the dailies?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, so we were almost, they protected us from that knowledge. I found that out much later after we filmed it. This is why it's hard
to be a director, man.
Yeah.
He's got to keep pushing forward, and you just found out they don't believe in it.
Yeah.
And what a crazy thing, because that being such an iconic, I was doing research on you, but there is Scream stuff in there. Yeah. And it talked about caller ID. 14 times as much after Scream came out.
Right,
Isn't that
makes
crazy?
Sense. Yeah,
you guys should have gotten a piece of AT&T.
Yeah, really.
But everybody wanted caller ID.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny? Yeah. So you didn't think you thought it was actually
I didn't
not
think
working.
either way. But I never suspected that this would be something that 30 years later we would fill Q&A panels, with no matter where we go, that we would have hours and hours long lines, people wanting to, to meet the people who were in it. So.
I remember, Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford apparently during A New Hope were like, and I'm not saying you were this way on screen, but they were like, this is some bullshit. They were, I think a lot of them were doing cocaine and they were just sort of like, this sucks.
It's a job.
What is exactly. That to me is always the most interesting thing. It's interesting that it blew up, and it's interesting that people want to know every single thing about that movie.
I think that sometimes, and I'm not speaking to that instance per se, but I think that sometimes the nerves of what we do, you have to find a disconnect and make it not mean much.
Bro.
And then you're kind of free.
We're so similar.
Right.
Every comedian is fucking stupid.
Right.
Yeah, you have
to. But inside you're like, oh my God.
You can't. Only we're talking on the car over. I was like, I had shows this weekend in Cleveland, and you were like, how were they? And I was like, super fun.
Yeah.
And my favorite part is being done. It's like, I care so much, really matters to me. And then when you put those heavy bags down, I do enjoy the performing, but the best part is I didn't fuck it up.
Yeah,
I didn't fuck it.
Yeah.
I say it all the time on the podcast, but it's like a key principle of my life is you don't want to do nothing.
Right.
You want to do nothing after you did something that scared you.
Yeah.
That's the good nothing.
That's interesting.
That's today. You walk around and you get an ice cream and you're like, fucking A, I deserve an ice cream.
Yeah.
But you have to, the other theory I have is there's always bad and good, right? And you have to choose which one you want first.
Right.
So eat an entire pizza, that's good first. Bad is indigestion, you sleep bad and maybe whatever, all the things that'll do to you. Exercise is bad first and then you feel good afterwards. So you have to control, but there's no getting around it.
Yeah.
But when you choose bad first, like even this, this is our day off.
Yeah.
I wanted to do this, but I've been aware. I'm like, don't fuck up the Skeet. Don't fuck up the Skeet. My new record, don't fuck up the Skeet. But you know, it's in my mind.
Yeah.
It's not just like a free day. I'm sure for you as well. Just a little bit of our consciousness. Okay, but that's the bad. The good is we're having this lovely chat and people will enjoy it, but you control it. But if you do good first, bad can be who knows.
Right.
But if you do bad first, you can control how much bad it is.
Oh, I like that.
You'll be like, I'm okay with being a little nervous on my Monday.
Like to approach so many things.
Right?
Yeah.
You're going to get them both.
Yeah.
There's no only good.
Yeah.
Go ahead and don't do heroin, but if you do it, there's a fallout.
Yeah.
Or go on I'm not going to say a hike is as good as heroin. I've never done it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Having kids.
That's
rough.
Yeah. The first 10 years is like, oh my God, am I ever going to sleep?
Rough. That's me talking to Val while we're doing this movie. It's for some reason it's longer than others. And I'm just talking to her and she's just like, all I'm doing is being a mom. And she loves it. Yeah, and it's kicking her ass.
I mean, it is the hardest job on the planet.
Hardest job on the planet for sure. But she's doing the bad. Yeah. And then later she'll have a daughter who is bound to her and loves her, and or,
100%. Yeah,
I mean that's the hope.
I'm living proof that happens. You know,
because you raise your kids alone. Are you talk about that?
Yeah, I'll talk a little bit about it.
We don't have to get into details.
Yeah, I mean, but yes, and you know, I was pretty much mom and dad for most of their lives, and we are thick as thieves. I love it. You know, I talk to each of them on a slow day 3 times a day.
I'm just
sometimes
looking how
like
big I'm
6 times a day. Bro. You know, each of them, and they're 24 years old.
Yes.
At 18, I could, we were still like kissing each other, you know, and you know, like it just is so, we're so connected. And but that time that you put in, that she's putting in, all that, you're right.
I hope
it's strenuous now. Yeah. But the payoff is so rewarding. Yeah.
I have this joke that I do where my daughter is sort of sassy to me. She's only like 6 years old at the time. And I'm like, I like it because she's not afraid of me.
Yeah.
I cut this line from the act because it was just too heavy. But I go, fear you call 3 times a year. Love you call every day. Mm-hmm. Just too sappy to say in my act. But that's how I feel. Yeah. I was like, my daughter can, she does. She punches me sometimes when we're playing. Yeah. And I never go like, give her the look. Yeah. I would have gotten the look, obviously. Yeah. Like I would have gotten the, I'm going to kill you. Like nobody was getting hit or hurt, but you would have been like, you need to respect me. Yeah. I'm like, you can disrespect me all you want. Just please call me 5 times a day. Like you did it. You did something good. And especially if you're doing both roles, not to be gender normative here, but like you couldn't be the cool cop. No, you had to do both.
I had to be both. Yeah.
So that, I mean,
it was, you know, I have always thought that a screaming child is screaming for someone to give them boundaries because they don't know the world and they don't know, you know, but they need someone to step up and say, no, we don't do that.
That's right.
And then,
you know, sometimes it's because it's just not what we do.
Yeah.
Like it's not to say we don't have a reason, but like we say from Bluey, we go, it's not the done thing. That's what they say in Australia. It's just not the done thing. Yeah. I found a toy on the playground. Can I take it? No. Why not? Somebody left it. We don't know that. It's just not the done thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, but boundaries.
Yeah. And I think that gives kids, a sense of security.
That's right.
That I'm taking care of them.
That's right.
And I'm watching.
They
and
don't
I'm present.
want you drinking a beer and saying
whatever. Yeah.
I've used this example before, but we had a friend who took their kid to Disneyland and he had a meltdown, and it's completely understandable. And afterwards they realized it's because they were asking him what he wanted to do.
Right.
And that is too much.
Right. That's a great example.
And now when we go to Disney, I say to Leela, and we're flexible.
Yeah.
If we walk by something with change, of course.
Yeah.
It's not a real.
Yeah. It's not rigid.
It's not rigid.
But it's
but
the general idea that
we're going
you're
on Pirates.
guiding
Yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's Dr. Becky Kennedy says the pilot has to say, we're going to this altitude and we're going to land at this time.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be like, I don't know, guys. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's parenting.
Yeah. That's a great example. Yeah.
You can change the course if you need to, but don't say that. Like, we might change the course if we hit a storm, but like, just say it'll be fine. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And both us and pilots, we're not
constant learning, isn't it? Parenting. Yeah. And even now that, they've been out of the house for a number of years, and and yet we're still so connected, and it's your worries just change. From, oh my God, the outlets, like I need to, make sure my baby doesn't crawl over and get electrocuted to, guard the steps, to all these things slowly through time becomes different worries.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just start to worry about different things.
Yeah.
I mean, my daughter's in Brooklyn now, 3,000 miles from home. And I'm always, oh God, I hope that walk from the subway to her stoop is fine, there's always, so it just changes.
That's right. That's exactly right. But I think
loving someone and caring about someone, it's inevitable.
I take a lot of comfort in that, if I'm present, tender, attuned, and loving. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe you won't get an A+, but you'll be in the higher ranks 100%. If you're always doing that.
Yeah.
I think I saw this online, but it was like, I can't always do it right, but I can always make it right.
Right.
Because there have been times when I've made parenting mistakes for sure.
Yeah.
Leela and I, this is a funny one because she's still so little. Sometimes we'll make a book out of it. Aww. Like the time Leela broke a window, or the time Leela fell and bit her tongue.
That's a great idea.
We'll draw it into a kid's book, because you can buy blank, like those hard page kid books on Amazon, and it helps us go, Dad was. I'm not trying to shape a narrative. Yeah. She'll help me write it. Like, Dad got frustrated, and will draw me because it's so much better than the gaslighting of
it's
that
beautiful.
Didn't happen.
That's such a great idea. Yeah, exactly.
We talk about it all the time.
No, and you got to make sure you preserve those forever.
Yes. Well, Val's very good at it. She'll go, you have big feelings. We all have big feelings. And my pride wants to say, we're not exploding at our kids. I always joke that Leela thinks yelling is when I'm like, Leela. She thinks that's yelling.
Yeah.
But just being real about it, kind of goes back to acting.
Yeah.
It's I had a big feeling. Yeah. You had a big feeling.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
And isn't that part of why it's helpful to tell stories, is go I've felt that way.
Yeah. I love that idea of
which part?
Drawing it out. It's genius.
Oh, really? I'm glad.
I think so. I think it really it allows you to analyze feelings. It allows you to verbalize feelings in a protected way.
Yeah.
You're not sitting straight across from your dad.
We're drawing.
You did this.
Yeah, that's right.
And that comes with its own fear and its own nervousness. And you're kind of eliminating that and yet allowing the expression.
But I really appreciate that. And it reminds me of what we do as actors. It's look, it's controlled. We're going to have, in the movie we're doing, there's death, and there's all of these things that we're confronting and looking at from a safe vantage point, and that kind of helps us process them.
Yeah.
Okay, John C. Reilly.
Oh, man. So the first movie I ever made, we were in Baltimore, and it was Winona Ryder and Lucas Haas and John C. and Chris Cooper. It was like a stacked cast. Well, early on, we didn't know the Inner Harbor was a dangerous neighborhood back then. This is 93 or 4, and nobody had smartphones. There was not Yelp reviews, whatever. We just sort of went where we wanted to go and
you
hope
picked
for
a
the
restaurant
best.
based on like the sign.
There's
a big juicy burger on the sign.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Lucas Haas and John C. and I went to the Inner Harbor to go see Wes Craven's new Nightmare. And we're like 15 minutes into the movie, and this dude comes down the aisle and like 3 rows in front of us, across from us, just punches this guy in the back of the head and starts this riot. Like
in the theater,
everybody jumps into this melee,
like a bar fight,
like a 200 people bar fight.
What?
And so we get on the floor, terrified. And the fight like goes past our row, and we're like, let's go. And we like run out of the theater. We get to the elevator to go up to the parking lot. We're pushing the button. Finally, the elevator comes, the doors open, and a dude's pulling his revolver out as he gets out of the elevator, going to the fight. And we left. We have no idea what happened, what went down that night, but I didn't see John C. for probably 15 years after we made that movie. And the moment I saw him, he was like, bro, like, remember? And I was like, yeah, I tell that story almost every day. He's like, me too.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was harrowing.
Insane.
Yeah.
Imagine if you loved the movie so much, you were just like, good. Oh my God. Yeah, really. Although you did go to be scared. So in a way you kind of got,
it was visceral.
You got over delivered.
Yeah.
That's terrifying, man.
Yeah.
Wow. And John's a big guy. I mean, not that anybody needs to be fighting. I'm just saying it had to have been a scene.
It was something else. It was.
Were you, look, I don't normally just pimp stories like a late night show, but you have to tell the Christopher Walken story, please.
Oh my goodness.
Because I said, I'm always interested in what performers eat, like to stay in the zone. And you told me the best.
Well, the story is that we were shooting Touch, this Paul Schrader movie. It was my first lead in a film. And I had to go to the bathroom. I had to pee really bad one time, and his trailer was closest, and I don't know why everybody's was, he's Chris Walken. So I knock on his door to see if I could use his bathroom. I'm like, he's like, yeah, come in. And he's sitting at his vanity with an uncut, unscaled fish, chomping into it.
Like Gollum.
And I was like, Chris, what are you doing? He's like, I'm having lunch. But he's, notoriously.
Head on.
Yes.
Head on, eyeball, scales, just.
Gnarly.
That is.
But you've heard these stories about him, right? Where he like got in the river and during lunch and like got down to got his whole body under his right there to his nose, I guess, so he could breathe. And he was just sitting there and they were like, what are you doing? And he was like, trying to figure out what an alligator's like or something like that.
I am trying to figure out what an alligator might be like.
Thank you. It's a much better impression than
I
mine.
liked you. I'm having lunch.
I think I told you, I did a film with Jeffrey Wright, who had done a Shakespeare play with him at the Public in New York. And he said very early on in rehearsals, Chris asked for a Chinese changing screen to be set up around him, and he sat in a chair and would, do his lines from behind. This is
on the stage?
On the stage.
Yeah, there's a Chinese changing screen.
Yeah, and so he's hidden from everybody, and they're starting to block the play and all this, and he wouldn't get out from behind the screen for weeks. And finally, they're getting to time to do tech rehearsals, where they, for those who don't know, lighting and, all the elements of the play, you start to work those in.
Come out from the
lighting
screen,
changes, all that stuff.
Yeah. You can't be
so
behind
now
a
it's time
scrim
to, but he hasn't blocked anything. And so Jeffrey Wright goes in the alley to, by the Public to have a smoke, and Chris is back there apparently smoking a joint. And Jeffrey's like, I gotta ask, because it's really, we don't know what you're gonna do, but why the changing screen? Why? He's like, well, I just wanted to see if they'd let me do it. I sounded more like Jack than Chris.
No, that was good. I just wanted to see.
This episode is brought to us by our friends at Dadgrass. Why is it that when you want to relax and just have a little fun, modern weed products strap you to a rocket like a confused chimp and blast you into outer space? You can't follow a movie, you can't hold a conversation, you're just orbiting the Earth, surrounded by empty pizza boxes and a lot of regret. Well, can't we just take the edge off? Well, can't we just get a little giggly with our friends, keeping our feet on the ground? Well, thanks to Dadgrass, yes we can. I am obsessed, legit, with their leisure drinks. It is a sparkling yuzu-flavored can that ships legally to all 50 states if you're over 21, and each one has 3 milligrams of THC and 6 milligrams of CBD, which is the perfect dose so you feel happy and relaxed without the hangover. Plus, they're stackable for a bigger buzz, and they are fast-acting, which means you'll feel it in about 10 to 20 minutes so you can get it just right. Get leisure drinks and all of Dadgrass's products, including their joints and gummies, all at dadgrass.com and use promo code WEIRD. Sorry, dadgrass.com/weird and use promo code WEIRD for 20% off. That's dadgrass.com/weird. Use promo code WEIRD for 20% off. Check it out. This episode is brought to us by our friends at The Perfect Jean, literally the only pants I wear. When I go to a premiere, I'm wearing The Perfect Jean. When I'm falling asleep on my couch, I'm wearing The Perfect Jean. How could one pair of pants fit both of those categories? Well, they are the best looking and best feeling pants I've ever owned. And the secret is they are 2% spandex and 2.5% rayon for extra comfort and movement that your man parts require, for a stretchy secret that no one needs to know. I used to try to wear like yoga pants or sweatpants. I looked like I was going through a hard time. Now I wear The Perfect Jean every single day. They're so comfortable you might even forget that you're wearing pants because they are a premium stretch fabric, but they come in so many amazing washes and cuts. You will look incredibly in style while feeling like you're wearing sweatpants, but you don't look like you're wearing sweatpants. It's the best thing in the world, so liberate your lower limbs with the one and only Perfect Jean. Whether you're working with lemons or lentils, a 3-leaf clover, a big ol' honkin' eggplant, The Perfect Jean has you covered. So stop crushing your balls in uncomfortable jeans by going to theperfectjean.nyc. Weirdos get 15% off, plus free shipping, free returns, and free exchanges when you use our code on your first order. The code is NOHARDPANTS15 at checkout. That's 15% off for new customers at theperfectjean.nyc with promo code NOHARDPANTS15. After your purchase, tell them we sent you, fuck your khakis, and get The Perfect Jean.
Well, that's fantastic. And you know I'm obsessed with As Good As It Gets. I've probably seen it 20, 25 times. I think you're fantastic in it.
Thank you.
You told me that there was a whole thing cut.
There was a lot cut, yeah.
If you haven't seen it, I'm assuming you have, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
I don't know who you are. You got to watch As Good As It Gets.
It's such a beautiful
Jim Brooks
movie.
It's Jack Nicholson.
He won the Oscar for it. Helen Hunt won the Oscar for it.
She also won the Oscar. My goodness. Yeah. And deservedly so. She's so good in it. Yeah. And everybody's good in that movie.
Kinnear was nominated for it.
Oh, wow.
There was a lot that was sort of, excised from his first cut was like 5 hours long.
Wow.
And there was a whole storyline of Greg and I's relationship building to this romance. And then when I allow my friends in to, rob his place.
Yeah. Which is also you and Jamie Kennedy again.
Yeah, and Jamie Kennedy again. Wow. And what was his name? Justin, the third member of our trio of street workers. Yeah. We were shooting and he had gone home, whatever.
Who went home?
What was his name?
Oh, the third guy.
Yeah,
Excuse
the
me.
third guy. And I can't. It wasn't from set, but anyway, it was a weekend or whatever. And he goes into this gas station on the corner of Sunset and Crescent Heights, and this guy comes up to him and is like, man, give me some money. And he's like, I don't have any money. He goes, what are you, a racist? And he's like, no. And the guy shoots him in the stomach. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And so he gets in his car, he and Leo were good friends. He drives to Leo's house, and apparently he's in the front yard is where they found him and saved his life. Yeah.
So Leonardo DiCaprio runs out and finds a friend shot in the stomach?
Yeah. That's the story I heard.
Oh my God.
But we had to wait for him to heal up a bit to shoot some more stuff.
Whoa.
But yeah, so that was the third
Please
member
say
of this.
film after that. You have to say to film some more stuff. You can't say shoot after.
Yeah, really.
Let's lose the shoot word. That's insane. He's okay though.
I think so. Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
I ran into him, I don't know, probably 10 years ago in a hardware store in LA, and he was doing construction. He was alive, you know, obviously, and seemed to be fine.
I remember Jamie Kennedy. You're both. Everybody's great in that movie, and he looked. It was almost like a Donnie Wahlberg in Sixth Sense. Like he looked so thin and like ghostly. Yeah, like kind of scary. Yeah, it was cool. But you had a whole thing.
There was a whole part of the relationship, you know, that you don't see.
Shot it.
Yeah, the end of the movie is Jack approaching me on the streets as the dialogue went, I'd like to purchase a blowjob. But he's luring me in to like get me arrested, which happens. And that was the original ending of the movie.
That was like the closure.
Bringing me to like justice.
Because in
not the roll credits scene, but like, you know, that was part of the culmination of the movie was bringing this guy to justice.
Well, because in the way it is now, there is no justice in that sense. There was this attack that actually ends up setting his character free. Yeah. It severs him from his parents, and it enlivens his artistic, you know, he takes off, it's beautiful. He takes off the cast and suddenly he can draw again. Yeah. And he found it through pain. Yeah. It's like everything we want is on the other side of something we don't want is another thing I try to live by. Right. So these things that we wouldn't ask for end up transforming us. Yeah. Yeah, it's really beautiful. So I can see why maybe they would take it out, but you got to shoot with Jack.
Well, yeah, I shot with Jack. He was amazing. Like, just incredible. And
not exhausted. I just imagine being him. You and I can walk around and get coffee, but everywhere he goes.
We were on the streets of New York. I didn't have scenes with him on the streets of New York, so I don't know what that was like for him. Yeah. But LA, we were mainly on the sound stage, you know, at Sony. And so like he was protected. Right. He had his cash chair had an ashtray taped to the arm. and you weren't supposed to smoke in the sound stage, but he was there smoking, and they would put a fire marshal nearby just to like, you know.
I got my own fire marshal.
Yeah. But he was amazing. And you know, so present and so like, just, I don't know, he's just a force. And
like, he seems like responsive. Like we were talking about that Mammoth thing. Like he seems to be, he's never acting at somebody. No. It seems. He seems to be acting with them.
It's very like outside of himself. And he came up with this idea during rehearsals, just whimsically, you know, brought it up. Clearly he had thought a lot about it, but he was like, you know, I think the key to playing old is to treat every object in the room as if it's the age you want to be. So if that 30-minute glass is 90 years old, I want to be careful not to disturb the dust around it because it might just crumble. And, you know, it slows you down. Yes. You're thinking about things. You're not thinking about I'm playing old. So clearly Jim Brooks was like, oh my God, Jack, that's genius. Like you have to tell people. And he's like, well, then they'd know what I was doing. But it showed to me, revealed to me that this is a man who thinks about bringing reality to the screen 24/7.
Right. And like you,
always on his mind.
He cares about it. Yeah. I'm not putting myself down, but he's not reading a script and going, will it be fun? Will it be easy? Will it be with people I like? He's going like, what is the story? Yeah. And do you think about the way projects resonate with the audience? Is it about that?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't per se, or at least I don't recollect.
You're just doing it for its own sake.
Thinking that it's important to me to forget people are going to see it, you know, as a way of being a little more free. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's just that I just get caught up in the making and I forget that this will get released and people will see it.
I'm dead if I'm on stage and I go, and sometimes I do. I've been doing it so long, I flirt with danger, and I'll just be sort of like, you're doing stand-up comedy right now. Everyone's looking at you. But it's like, just to kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like you have a cut in your mouth and you keep tonguing it. You know what I mean? Like you shouldn't do it, but you're just sort of like, don't forget this whole, I'll be doing the joke and I'll be like, don't forget it. And I'm like,
I think this is why I learn my lines so much is I have had moments like that on set with you, like, while filming where I look around and my brain goes, oh my God, like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yes.
But I still have to deliver dialogue. Yeah. So I'm able to do it because I've worked so hard on it. But there's those moments where you just feel so vulnerable.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that you were again, I'm not just buttering your bread again.
Please tell me.
But I'm like, this guy is a good leader for the project in like a stoic, solid, he's okay way.
I mean, because, this is outside of my purview, if you will, like doing comedy.
Yeah.
It's a horror comedy, but it's essentially a comedy.
Yeah, but maybe this is Mamet, because where I'll agree, I don't change the wording of certain parts of my jokes because, and I know every line. I could do Glenn Ross from beginning to end, the film version.
Right.
I only say that because it's longer, it's more impressive. But I know those lines and I know how important it is.
Yeah, the rhythm.
There was the rhythm. And when I started doing scenes with you, and again, not that you need this, but I was like, from my comedic perspective, I was like, oh, we got it. Like, remember there was that moment where I'm like, arthritis isn't always age-related. I'm like, but in this case...
Yeah, in this case, yes.
But
we're with
you
each
knew
other.
we had to do it together.
Yeah.
We couldn't... No one could lead it.
Yeah.
It had to happen. And there were a lot of moments when... I don't want to go over all our lines together, but whenever there's a moment where I'm like, we should do this more often. And I'm like, bury a friend. And you're like, or have a barbecue. I'm not particular. I'm like, that's comedy. Comedy is a little bit more like... Like, there's just a little bit. My joke on set would be Brighton and Titan.
Yeah.
Which, of course, we're not doing like a multicam. For us,
it was always bigger, brighter, faster, funnier.
Bigger, brighter, faster, funnier.
But that's more
at least
farce.
Do one. Do one that's staccato. It's like, it's like piano. Are you playing it staccato or vibrato?
I always say you have to, for me, I almost hear things or read scripts and feel them as a symphony. And you have to know when you're just the triangle in the background. And you have to know when you're the bass drum or the lead guitar.
Yeah.
So when you figure that out, like sometimes it's my job to set you up based on what was written.
Right.
Not for my line to have so much meaning that you miss the punchline.
Make a meal of it.
Yeah.
Chew the scenery and all of that stuff.
That gets hard when people don't do that. And maybe I have a different idea of the scene than some people, and that makes that happen. Or, and then maybe I need to open up to what this new version is. Right. But I feel like I've been around long enough to feel the rhythms and to know sort of like, okay, like.
But I think comedy is music in a big way. I think drama is music as well, but like, I think for what it's worth. I think I'm picking up on that. I'm like,
it's worth a lot if I'm doing a good job. Cause like like I said, it's outside of my comfort zone. And in fact, there was a couple of weeks into negotiations. I was like, I can't pull this off. Like I'm out. And
I remember you saying that. Yeah.
And they, they put me on the phone with Mason, who's our producer, an amazing producer. Yeah. Mason Novick. And he told me for about an hour what he loved about the script. And it gave it so much depth and meaning that I felt comfortable, being in the ensemble, being, with what I had to do.
I love this.
Yeah.
See, it's interesting. Me making those books with my daughter and you on the phone with Mason are related to me.
Yeah.
We're meaning-making machines.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just taking a moment to take this in because when you're like, oh, I almost backed out of the movie. And I'm like, my checklist, I think I need to tweak it. I'm like, fun, easy, and I'm free that month. You know what I mean?
I don't think you need to necessarily. I mean, I think because look, I'm not rolling in offers, right?
But that makes it even cooler.
Yeah, but I mean, like yes, there are, if something, I turn down a lot of stuff that I get offered because it's just not up to snuff for the most part. Yeah. This one was beyond up to snuff.
Yeah.
And I felt incapable of making it work because I'm not a comedian. I'm not funny, but.
Disagree.
Oh, well, I mean,
I'm going to give it. There's a little Oreo cookie.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to eat it.
They haven't really improved on the Oreo.
I had one last night.
Did you?
I did.
Bro, it's a king.
Yeah,
it's a king cookie.
I know.
Okay. So you were saying I don't have to adjust. I don't remember where we were.
Well, no, I was just saying like, I feel like, I think those three things are
valid.
Great. Yeah, they're very valid.
Yeah.
And I think that probably comes from something a little deeper than it being frivolous.
I hope so. I don't want to be selfish. I don't want to go like, I'll enjoy this. I can do this. I'm available. Those are all like me-centered things.
Those are valid though, but I guarantee there's more to it than that.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I did like doing something new.
Yeah.
Because, my first day of shooting was like with the killer.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, I'm sure this will make you think of something. Even if it's not a story, I'm sure you've done it. I'm at a lake and I have to look in the water and see my dead girlfriend.
Yeah.
And like react.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to tell you this. The camera's on you. There's nothing in the water.
Yeah.
I just can't.
You're pretending.
You're hard pretending.
Yeah.
At least when you're acting, I'm pretending you're my best friend.
Right.
That's not that weird.
You mean we're not?
But if I'm seeing a placid lake, just like a still lake, and I have to pretend there's the corpse, triple pretending. Someone who's not my girlfriend. Now, I mean, like,
it's a lot.
It's too much. That's the job. That's the part where I'm like, one of the first things I did, again, it was crashing, one of my first acting things. One of the first episodes we did, I had to see someone get hit by a car. Oh. And again, I'm looking at nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Just the street. And I had to be like, and you feel like a fool.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of our job is feeling like a fool.
That's right. So you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. You have to get over
There's
it.
some things like that just are, I'll never forget like the first film I did that, there was a point where the director was like, I think I was like messing up or whatever. And I was nervous. Winona was like, she's probably one of the only actresses I've ever seen this with. But when they said rolling, it was like a light went on behind her eyes.
Really?
And she just glowed
just
all of a sudden. Person. And I just like got mesmerized by it. And like the scene, I'm supposed to start the scene and I'd like...
You're lost in Winona.
I didn't know. Yeah.
Wow.
And so,
like her magnetism.
Yeah. Wow. It was really palpable. So I was nervous. I think I'm horrible in the movie, but there was a point where the director was like, do it like you're sitting on the roof of the car looking down at yourself. And I was like,
what?
Okay.
You're the windshield wiper fluid.
Yeah.
You're the bulb inside the headlights. Go.
Yeah. I had no idea how to interpret. I think what she was saying was, don't be so self-conscious.
Right. Get out of the car a little bit.
Right. So like.
But it's like telling someone to calm down.
Yeah.
It's actually the worst thing you can say.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this is a bad director. I'm just saying like sometimes you have to pull what you want.
I was a green actor who didn't really know how to interpret that. I don't think she's not a bad director. She's made really great movies.
Yeah.
So if you're watching Stacey Cochran,
Stacey Cochran,
thumbs up. It was more my inability to understand it.
Sure, but I see what she's going at.
Yeah.
But like if I were to tell my opener doing stand up, just relax. That's a really tricky message. You have to kind of like inception that.
Yeah.
And be like. Actually, I just gave somebody this advice. I was like, you have to think of the audience as one thing instead of 300 things or 1,000 things. Just goes just one thing. People don't like public speaking because it's so many people.
Yeah.
What if all those people just merged into one mass that wants you to do well? Same with the crew and same with everybody that sees this movie.
Before I went to NYU, I went to University of North Carolina at Wilmington. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I took a class, I thought I was going to be a marine biologist and I was like cheating on every test from the start. And I was like, I had the wherewithal to go like, clearly this is not meant for me.
Yeah.
And like, and I'm not really that interested in it. And so I'd always built stuff. So I started building sets for the theater department. And one of the classes I took, our teacher had us do stand-up. He wanted us to do like I forget if it was like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever.
Yeah.
We had to write our own jokes and there was going to be like 60 people in the room, whatever, and this and that. And I was terrified.
Of course.
So back then we had the dual cassette recorders, right?
Yeah.
As our little jam boxes. Dubbing. Yeah. And so my buddy, good friend of mine and I, we decided what I'd do is we hit record on the one side and we both, and then we play that and laugh on top. Oh, now there's 4 people laughing. And we built up this whole like laugh track.
You made an audience.
And I brought it on stage with me. And my opening line was like, I don't need you motherfuckers because I hit the laugh track.
Oh my gosh.
And it was the joke. I mean, it worked as a joke.
That's so good.
But my written stuff was so bad.
Yes. That's a great idea though.
But yeah, I created my own laugh track and brought it with me.
Oh, fantastic.
But I have to say, like, it's so nerve-wracking, and my hats are off to you guys who do it because it's
Well, I appreciate that, and I do think there's a compulsive element. Like we like it.
Yeah,
there's something about it. It's also like having gone from doing film acting with you guys and then going to do the show. It's a much more condensed experience.
Right, of course.
Yeah. I'm assuming you've done theater. Like it feels like that. It's like you're living and dying by the moment.
Yeah,
as opposed to, and I've actually really enjoyed this. The past couple movies I've done, I've really enjoyed. I've gotten really lucky with good crews, good directors, writers, everybody cast. And I'm really enjoying this. And no matter how streamlined it is, there's just a lot of
there's a lot of
waiting.
Time in between.
There's a waiting. And you can lose your momentum. And you were saying in the car over, like a big part of our job is energy management.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree more that like being sensitive to your own energies, without forcing it, there's 2 things I want to talk about, and I feel like we've gone.
Yeah, I want to say one thing about the energy thing, though, and it was I did a film with Tom Hanks like 5 years ago that the one, what did they call it? Not Goodyear, but where he has the dog. It's post-apocalyptic and Fitch.
With Tom Hanks.
Is it Fitch, whatever?
Sure.
Anyway, it's Castaway and post-apocalyptic. He's like there are only 5 actors in the whole thing, and my daughter and I section got cut out for very artistic reasons, which I didn't disagree with, but I spent time with him on set and speaking about energy regulation, and he had the ability to go to sleep in his set chair.
T. Hanks.
Yes. And like he would just tune out and go to sleep between setups, like right there on set.
Multiple times?
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing about Elijah Wood, actually.
Oh, really?
That there's certain people that just go and they're off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how he kept it up.
That's how he kept his energy for when he needed it.
That is the job.
Yeah.
I'm curious about like, that to me seems like a hypersensitivity and attunement. And
right.
I don't want to take too much more of your time, but you being raised, your father kidnapping you.
That kind of stuff.
That whole thing. I mean, kids get very good at going like, what is happening?
Yeah.
How do I make myself safe?
Yeah.
And you start playing poker, you go, how does he feel?
Yeah.
Do you think that informs, without forcing it, maybe it doesn't, but it seems like I would wager that Tom Hanks, you, certainly me, pick up things as a child that go, I need to figure out how to control this world. It's pretty weird out here.
Yeah, yeah.
Does that resonate at all?
Yeah, it resonates. I know that is an aspect of my emotional makeup. I've gone through I went to analysis when I was in New York, which is beyond therapy. It's like, it was intense.
Oh, I thought that was just a Woody Allen way of saying therapy.
No.
Analysis is something else.
Well, this was like old school style where like I laid on the sofa. He was over there behind me. I never saw him.
Like you're supposed to feel uncomfortable.
Well, what it allows for is transference. So, if you're needing to lay out my dad, blah, 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 or my mom, blah, 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 like he can be both because I don't really know him. So I'm able to transfer those and have open conversations about very deep things. Whereas a lot of, modern therapy, you sit, right across from the person looking at each other's eyes. And like, it's like, and that's, that's great. It has its merits, but like there was something very deep and like he's
almost.
watching your body, well, when you mentioned your dad, your foot started tapping. Like, like why? Do you know what are the thoughts? You know?
This episode is brought to us by our friends at Element, LMNT. Healthy hydration isn't just about drinking water. It's about drinking water plus electrolytes, which makes sense. You lose both water and sodium when you sweat, so both need to be replaced. And Element does this deliciously, easily, with no BS, no sugar, 5 calories, won't break a fast, and helps prevent those muscle cramps, headaches, and energy dips that come with dehydration. So many electrolyte drinks have tons of crap in them. Sugar, tons of sugar. As much sugar as a can of soda, it's ridiculous, but Element has none of that. It's the optimum ratio of sodium, magnesium, and potassium for health, performance, and energy. I start every day with my favorite flavor, which is lemonade salt. Close second, watermelon salt, and this floods every cell in my body with optimum hydration and jumpstarts my day. It's amazing before or after a workout. It's also just great when you're fasting or trying not to snack late at night because it's delicious and it fills your body with what it's craving, which is so often, in my case, salt. So get a free sample pack of Element. Their most popular flavors: citrus salt, raspberry salt, watermelon salt, and orange salt. 2 sticks of each flavor with any purchase when you use promo code WEIRD. Go to support this show. Go to support your body. Drink lmnt.com/weird and get your free sample pack with any purchase. Promo code WEIRD. That's drinklmnt.com/weird.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace, the easiest, most intuitive, and I'd even say fun, all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out and succeed online, whether you're starting a business, sharing your art, or just need a place to say, "Hi, it's me, Gary." Squarespace makes it easy to claim your domain, build a beautiful site, and even get paid all in one place. What I love is it actually looks good right out of the gate. Obviously, that's super important for a website, and you don't have to be a designer to make something that feels pro. With their Blueprint AI feature, it will build a custom website for you. You just tell it what you want in plain English and a little bit about your vibe, and it generates polished pages, great copy, and design ideas in seconds. Then you can tweak everything with a simple drag and drop editor, just like your website is sitting right in front of you on a table. Or you can choose from tons of award-winning templates if you want to start from scratch. So whether you're selling merch, posting tour dates like me, or just showing off your work, Squarespace gives you all the tools you need, no coding required. Head to squarespace.com/weird for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use offer code WEIRD to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. That's squarespace.com/weird. This episode is brought to us by our friends at Body, the maker of the supplements that have really been turning my life around in a major way. Found out that there was a study that discovered between 1987 and 2004, men's average testosterone dropped about 1% per year. That means today, men have about 40% lower testosterone than their grandfathers did in the 80s. I didn't even know that was a thing. I went to the doctor, they would tell me I was normal, low on testosterone, but now that I've been supplementing it, it explains a lot. That feeling tired, dull, just kind of off has a lot to do with testosterone. Thankfully, Body is here to help. I've been taking their supplement Mojo for testosterone, and yeah, it's the perfect name because it brings your mojo back. Since starting it, I've noticed a huge difference. More energy, better workouts, sharper focus, and blood flow. And yes, wink, wink, that means Boner City. This isn't just an ad, it's 100% my experience. I feel motivated, creative, more driven. Mojo gives your body the nutrients to naturally boost your testosterone, lower your cortisol, and get your edge back. I love all their supplements. I take Mojo, Shred, Nitro. I love Keno Octane as well, which is their pre-workout that gives you an amazing euphoric energy that carries you through your workouts and helps you go that extra mile. So weirdos, you get 20% off your first order. Go to kenobody.com and use promo code WEIRD. That's kenobody.com, promo code WEIRD.
I worked through a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't really sort of feel it so much. I'm 55 now, you know, like he hadn't been in my life since I was 10. You know, I don't disagree. I think it informs a lot. I guess I just am not, it's not as present in my thoughts as it probably once was.
Right. Yeah. It's interesting though. There's a performative element to children who are going, these might not be the most stable people. Yeah. I'm going to be what they need me to be or be what they want me to be to protect myself.
100%. Yeah. And I think, you know, for me, like I got turned on, if you will, by acting because I had a lot that had gone on in my life, you know, at that, you know, up until I was 19, you know, there was a lot. And I didn't really have a listener, you know, to be able to, or I didn't feel comfortable with anybody, you know, to really divulge it. And I found the power of metaphor in what we do, and that I can lay it into dialogue and not implicate anybody. So
in your work,
in the work. And that as so if is perfect for it, you know, like to really like divulge deep secrets and dark things or emotional things, all these things. And yet I don't have to blame anybody.
It's really interesting. And your nervous system and your unconscious probably doesn't know the difference. It's like dreams. At night we dream and we tell stories that aren't directly about what we're going through. You're on a subway and all your papers are spread out everywhere. And you know you're processing a feeling of chaos or whatever it might be. You don't need a dream dictionary to figure out, oh, that was that. And that's another reason why I think storytelling isn't going anywhere and why human storytelling isn't going anywhere. Meaning AI will be a tool, I'm sure, but like we'll always want to know what a person.
Absolutely. Because that's what I don't worry about AI for that very reason.
Is that right?
And doing these signing conventions, like nobody's, you know, you see it.
Yeah.
People love the chance to get to know
the person.
You're
talking about Comic-Con.
I'm talking about Comic-Cons, and horror cons or whatever, but like, you know, they'll line up in hours long lines to meet you. Yeah. And they're not going to do that for a computer.
Right.
And so I think there's something about the human element that is irreplaceable.
I agree. Where again, it's not about the words, right?
Yeah.
It's not about the joke. It's not about even what you're saying. It's subtext. And we think, I think the internet is doing a really great job at showing us that what we want and what we need are two very different things.
Right.
So you think you just need stimulation or information or sensationalism or your boredom to be removed. And then it's like, of course, I know I sound like an old man. You couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah.
Like you think you need a clip of me saying something that's going to blow your mind. What you really need is relationship. You need some sort of mirroring, connectedness, exactly, with another person that's flesh and blood, that's alive right now. Something to like snap you into the immediacy. I know it's such a cliche to say the miracle of existence, but like to bring you into that, not to just touch hormone dispensers in your brain. Some are good, some are bad. Now you're jizzing. Like that wasn't it. It wasn't just eating and fucking and sleeping and entertaining and movies. And like, where was your life? You want, I think a person waiting in line at a horror con to meet you, that is such a beautiful confluence of an entertaining thing and the most ancient thing in the world, which is just like, there's another person who means something to me, and you mean something to them, and you get to bounce off each other.
And I don't take that for granted. Like, you know, Matt Lillard taught me a lot about, you know, he's an amazing human being, like really, really connected.
Spoiler,
to people.
The other killer.
Oh shit.
How many years? 40?
Almost 30.
30, I'm sorry, not 40,
Yeah, really. 40. Come on, bro.
You would have been 10 years old.
But you know, we stand in front of our tables and wrap our arms around every single person that comes through there. And you know, he said this really magical thing that has stuck with me, that you can change a kid's trajectory in those 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If you're open to seeing them.
Yeah.
And witnessing who they are and have the wherewithal to offer some gem.
That's right.
That And you see it happen. Like you can see it happen in the moment. And that's not everybody. Like not everybody comes up damaged or looking for this, but there are those who.
Bro, I know.
Yeah,
I do. I'm not
I
trying
think
to
comedy
sidle
does
up to
the
that.
same thing though.
That's why I'm saying it's not about the jokes. It's about they're allowing me, but I'm allowing them, and there's something really beautiful happening.
Yeah.
But Roy Wood Jr. has a great special. I believe it's called Lonely Flowers, because he's talking about how we're supposed to be in a bouquet, but now we're all lonely flowers. And he says, like, we can't just have Amazon and Postmates bringing us everything.
Yeah.
Going to the store, I'm ruining the bit, but the point is that interaction with the cashier, where she laughs at your joke, she looks you in the eye, and she tells you to be good.
Yeah.
That sometimes, forget other people, sometimes that's the only interaction I'll have that day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I think it's so important.
And
I agree.
And sorry to, maybe this is overly sentimental, but like Mother Teresa said, the problem is we've forgotten we belong to each other.
Right.
And it's those little moments where we allow ourselves to be supported and to support.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in what Matthew's saying. It's like a smile.
Yeah.
I try to do it. I'm not always good at it. Sometimes I'm tired or whatever. But like, if you can, like, I have incredible respect for both of you, because I guarantee people in that line, and it transcends celebrity and it transcends the movie. Yeah. Your stardom in that moment is an excuse for two people to love each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything's an excuse. This podcast, I always say, this is an excuse. We wouldn't have, I'd like to think we'd sit down and have coffee like this, but we wouldn't. It's an excuse to love each other, meaning to say yes to each other.
Yeah, yeah.
And so is a con, and so is a movie set.
Yeah.
Okay, now we've uncovered, that's my secret.
Yeah.
I do like it's easy, it's fun, and I'm available.
Yeah.
And it's an excuse to love people.
Yeah. And I love that. It's really, I'm taking that home with me.
Yeah, keep that.
Yeah.
I love saying it because I want to remember it, because clearly, hey, I was vulnerable enough to learn something in front of the camera. But that is my... That helped me. I figured something out during this conversation. Can we talk a little bit about you being roommates with David Blaine, just because it's too good?
Yeah,
it's too good.
It's a pretty funny, thing. But
he slept in a block of ice. David,
I had to ice pick him out in the morning. We met through.
I think he's incredible.
My agent
by the way.
At the time knew him. And we were starting as good as it gets in Manhattan, and he came to set, and we met, and we kind of hit it off, whatever, and hung out a bit while I was there filming. And
did he do tricks, or was he just a man?
He did. He was always doing. He always had a deck of cards in his hand, and was always doing just insanely amazing tricks.
Well, you told me he would move a card.
Yeah, he could take one card and like maneuver it through the deck with one hand.
Wow.
And
that's what they call that, a mechanic. I love magic.
Yeah.
A real card mechanic. Yeah.
And so he, we got close enough, and he was like, I'm coming out to LA to do my first special. Can I stay at your place? And I was like, absolutely, whatever. And so for about 6 months while he was shooting that, we were quote roommates.
Wow.
And it was fascinating. Like, he,
was it hard? Were you like, David, I'd love for you to make these dishes disappear? Sorry, that's dumb.
That's not dumb. That's fantastic. I wish I had.
Could you make this laundry on the floor levitate and go over to the dryer?
But he was, he's fascinating. Like,
We'll talk about a guy who's imbued something with meaning.
Yeah.
Magic and the history of magic and performance, how people feel, and obviously connection.
Yeah.
That Street Magic special was about his scene partner.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him in a shiny vest getting the accolades.
No,
it was about the people.
It was more about them.
It was more about them.
Yeah, which is fascinating.
So this is on theme for what we've been talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
But do you mind, what were you going to share? I wanted you to say when you, Leo, and he would go out.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, he was really good friends with DiCaprio at the time, and we would go to, I was like 24. I went 24, 25, whatever it was.
Wow.
And we would go to clubs or whatever, and Blaine would always pull the girls, and Leo and I'd be like, "What the like?" And we would like mock him for like, I see your soul.
Yeah, like he's his thing.
But he had this way intensity. Of looking at people, not just women, but people, and really reading them in a way that was like profound. Yeah. And people would just fall into his spell.
It's seductive.
Yeah.
It's like this guy is seeing me, and he brought that sort of sexiness in. Like Magic was always kind of trying to be sexy, but in this corny Vegas way.
Yeah.
And he was actually bringing sort of like a leading man energy.
And it's so fascinating because he, you know, what he explained to me was like his mom was, you know, was dying of cancer, and there was a magic shop on the way to the hospital, and he would stop and, you know, buy tricks and learn tricks to keep her entertained.
Wow.
And so it takes on a whole nother level of meaning when you consider that as the inception of.
But again, some emotional, like I have emotional ties to comedy, like making my parents laugh or putting on some sort of show, and it made it valuable and practical. Yeah. So I'm not surprised that he had like this isn't just to wow people. I need to help mom. Yeah. It's really powerful.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And then was there anything about, you told me you did, I get this sense that actors know and respect you and as an actor. Yeah. And I think that's really cool. Yeah. And again, I wanted to do a Scream-free interview, but I also so when Jack Nicholson wanted to do a table read, you mentioned this, obviously you didn't ask me to bring this up because it is cool. Yeah. He called you, he calls Vince Vaughn.
Claire
Danes. I'm just saying like that's gotta be validating.
Oh my God.
I've seen it in how you work, but it's nice. I mean, like kind of the king of Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could call anybody.
I was astounded. And you know, I have his cell number.
That's amazing.
You know, I don't never call him because I just don't.
It's probably riddled with spelling errors.
It's probably not even the same number anymore.
I just never knew my dad was such a bad speller.
But I only bring that up because he was, you know, he really wanted to connect, you know, and he, you know, I drove he bought Brando's house. They were neighbors, and they had a thing, whoever died first, the other one got first rights to buy. And so he bought Brando's house, and the read-through was at Brando's dining table. Wow. Which was amazing. But he met me in the driveway, you know, and like I get out of the car and he's just there, and he's like, he knew I had moved to a farm in Virginia for a while. He knew all this stuff.
There he is, he remembered
back from the farm. Yeah, he remembered so many conversations we had on the set of As Good as It Gets. And like, he was just so present.
Wow.
And clearly has a brain like that is
sharp.
You know, yeah.
Wow.
So yeah.
And was it nerve-wracking perform? I mean, I know you already acted with him.
I don't remember it being nerve-wracking. I mean, it's a little less nerve-wracking to do a table read, you know, because you really kind of don't know necessarily the script.
Yeah.
I had read it, but it was a Paul Haggis comedy.
Yeah. Okay.
Which was kind of unheard of. And they didn't wind up making the movie, but it was like Vince Vaughn's character he was reading was meant to get married to Claire Danes, who's Jack's daughter. And it all falls apart, and I can't remember exactly why, but Vince and Jack wind up going on the honeymoon together.
Well, I don't want to waste the ticket. We got a ticket. We got a first class. We're going to go to Hawaii. What's the big deal? I'm going with my father-in-law.
You read it. Okay.
It was a good script.
Yeah. But it was. They didn't wind up making it, but it was so much fun. Like,
that's
and
so cool.
You know, honestly. Vince Vaughn is a genius comedically.
I believe
the insights he had about the script, just from the table read, were so like profound.
You get that sense.
Yeah, he's
very sharp mind.
Really something else.
Yeah. That's talk about the Winona Ryder zone.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Vince acting in real life, but like just the footage of him whenever he's improvising, I'm like, that's an out of body thing. That's like the gift of gab, but something else.
Yeah, something else. Yeah,
like you're
profound.
This must be boring. Regular reality must be pretty boring,
right?
If that's a gear you have.
Yeah,
it's really impressive. Well, let me just look at my notes real quick. We're not going to talk about Linkletter. Well, I think we can pretty much wrap it up.
Do have to pee anyway, so
then let's get out of here.
Do you have is there a way you close?
Yeah, there's a way we'll close. We'll do a little close here.
Yeah,
and then that's it.
Okay.
I'm going to ask, you can answer either one for the last question. We always do the last question.
Okay.
You can either talk about being an extra on Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Or tell me about, if one comes to mind, the time you laughed harder than any other time in your life. And that doesn't even have to be a good story. Maybe you were a kid. Yeah. Usually somebody farted or fell down.
I don't, it's like, I've fell in love over the last 10 months. Yes. And, Ashley is like just an incredible woman. And we laugh so much together. That's what
you always say. Forgive me, but you're in close quarters, so we're always in vans together. Yeah. And whenever she comes up, the first thing you say was how quickly you guys fell and how quickly it felt substantial. Yeah. And that you laugh constantly.
She's become my best friend, and I always wanted that. I never suspected it would happen to me, after a couple failed marriages and life. And, I felt like I was cursed to die alone. And I now feel connected to somebody so deep and so meaningful. And part of the reward of that is we laugh constantly. Yeah. She's so funny. So I don't know what really I've laughed at the most, but I've laughed more in the last 10 months than I have in a decade. And
it's all you want. And that Valerie is that way for me.
No, then
for
you're
sure.
Blessed.
You're just like, wait, the way you're funny is, I know it's so obvious, but that's how I think the world is funny.
Yeah.
I think that's like I think it's one of the reasons why people in dating profiles are looking for a sense of humor. Specifically, they're looking for their sense of humor.
Yeah. They're looking for connectedness, and that allows for that.
Well, there's sonar pings. Yeah. Laughing is different from just quietly feeling something. If you're laughing together, you're facing the same direction.
Right.
So you get these check-ins throughout the day.
That's great.
Right? So I'm so glad you found that. Yeah. And she is great from the limited time I've had with her. So I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
All right, man. The way we end, thank you for taking your day off to work a little bit on this. So thank you very much.
It was not work. I'm glad. My pleasure.
It was easy and effortless for me as well. We have the guest say, keep it crispy. It's just how we sign off. It doesn't mean anything.
Keep it crispy.
He did it right away.
You didn't even have to twist my arm.
I loved it. That's what I would do. I'd say it before the explanation. I'd be like, keep it crispy. We're done. I got to pee. So you did it. Thank you very much, Skeet. You're the man.
Thank you, man. You are.
You made it weird. You made it weird.